You know those huge spaces we're in every day? Think about hospitals, corporate offices, universities. For years, if you wanted to update them, you pretty much had one option, a new coat of paint. But what if those walls could be more? Today, we're diving into the technology that's turning plain old surfaces into powerful tools for branding, wayfinding, and creating some truly incredible experiences. Right? Think about it. The old way of renovating a big commercial space means noise, dust, and hallways being shut down. It's a massive disruption. This question really gets to the heart of the problem for any facility manager. How do you make your environment better without bringing daily operations to a grinding halt? So, to really understand where the industry is going, we first have to get real about the problems with the tools we've been using for decades. I'm talking about traditional vinyl graphics and wallpaper. I mean, the goal is simple, right? You want to create this stunning, seamless visual. But for the folks actually managing these buildings, the reality is often, well, it's what you see on the right. Instead of that perfect picture, you're left dealing with all the little visual flaws and logistical headaches of a solution that just wasn't built for a high-traffic space. Let's just run through these pain points, because they're a big deal. You invest in a gorgeous, huge design, only to have it chopped up by ugly seams. The adhesives start to fail, or worse, they damage the walls when you try to take them down. In busy hallways, you see the corners start to peel and bubbles pop up. And when it's time for a refresh, all that old vinyl and adhesive just gets ripped down and thrown into a landfill. It's a real problem. Okay, so knowing all of those problems, how do we make a smarter choice? It's not just about looking good anymore, it's about performance. We really need a solid framework, a checklist, if you will, to judge any modern wall graphic solution and make sure it's going to meet the real-world needs of a busy facility. And here's what that ideal checklist looks like. First up, speed. Can you get it done with minimal downtime? Second, quality. Does it actually give you that seamless high-def image at a massive scale? Third, durability. Can it take a hit from a cart and handle hospital-grade cleaning? Fourth, sustainability. Are we avoiding nasty materials and just adding to the landfill problem? And finally, a big one, life cycle efficiency. What's the total cost, including the hassle and price of updating it 5 years from now? Okay, with that ideal checklist in mind, let's look at a technology that was basically engineered to tick every single one of those boxes. This is a huge shift in how we think about putting graphics on walls. The core idea here is honestly a game changer. We're not sticking something on the wall. The technology prints the graphic directly onto the wall's surface. So it doesn't matter if it's smooth drywall, rough brick, or even concrete. The image literally becomes part of the wall. No vinyl, no adhesives, no panels. And when you put them side by side, the advantages are just crystal clear. For appearance, you go from seams and peeling to a totally seamless integrated finish. Installation, it drops from a multi-day headache to just a few hours. And this is huge. You're no longer stuck with only perfectly smooth surfaces. But the real kicker is the updates. Instead of a costly, damaging teardown, you just paint right over it for a brand new canvas. So that's the tech. But what does it actually mean for a busy hospital or office? Let's translate these features into some tangible, real-world benefits. This number really says it all. Less than 5 hours. That's the typical on-site time to get an installation done in one zone. Just imagine, a pediatric ward can be totally transformed with calming murals overnight without disturbing a single patient. Or a corporate lobby can get a complete rebrand between when people leave on Friday and come back on Monday. The work happens without messing up what the space is actually for. Now, this kind of speed isn't magic. It's the result of a really tight professional process. It all starts with a detailed survey of the site, then moves into design. And this part is key. It includes on-site swatching to make sure the colors look perfect in the actual light of the space. Then, the printing itself is fast and efficient, and it all wraps up with a formal quality check. It's a predictable, professional workflow built for complex environments. You know, this quote points to a really elegant benefit. Think about wayfinding in a big building. Instead of cluttering up the walls with a dozen different signs and brackets and plaques, all the directions can be integrated right into the architecture. It just creates a cleaner, more intuitive, and way less visually stressful environment for people to find their way around. And all of this builds to our final point, which, for many decision makers, is probably the most critical one: the long-term financial and operational advantage. And this goes way beyond just the initial price tag. This chart tells the whole story. Look, the initial cost to get started might be pretty comparable, But the real expense of the old methods comes down the road when it's time to remove it or update it. That bar just skyrockets because of the labor for teardown, the wall repairs you have to do, and disposal costs. With direct-to-wall, that update cost is almost nothing because you just paint over it. So here's the bottom line. The true value, the most significant savings, it comes from getting rid of all that removal labor, avoiding costly wall repairs, and, most importantly, slashing the operational downtime you need to refresh a space. For any large facility, that is a massive, massive efficiency gain. So, this leaves us with a final, really important question to think about. With technology like this available, are your walls just passive surfaces? Or are they dynamic, strategic assets that can work for you? It's a powerful shift in thinking, and it's definitely reshaping the future of interior design. Thanks for watching.